Hello guys, it's Rhino and welcome to one more Play It Right video. Today I'm gonna teach you how to play Vampire the Masquerade Vendetta by Horrible Guild. Vendetta is an official Vampire the Masquerade board game, so it's set in that universe, in the world of darkness where monstrous vampires prowl, sustaining their undead existence with human blood. Vampire the Masquerade Vendetta is a competitive card game of strategy, deduction, and bluff. During the game, you take a vampire clan, you build your deck, and fight to win the support of influential allies, so to challenge the throne of Chicago. I have set up a game for 4 players, so I have placed 3 location tiles on the table, number 1, number 2, and the Prince's Haven. One of the players gets the ambition token to indicate they start first. To start the game, each player chooses a clan sheet in player order. Each clan has unique cards and very different identities which influence their playing style. For example, Nosferatu can hide their disfigured forms in the darkness, and they are capable of devious strategies. The Bruja clan is all about high power and heavy damage. The Toriator clan, on the other hand, is weaker, but they can easily exploit their sizable alliance to make their cards more powerful. Each player gets the 2 starting cards of their clan, Hunt and Ready, and set them aside. These cards will be in your hand at the beginning of the first round, and you keep the rest face down in your clan deck. Also, each player takes 1 stay and 1 withdraw token. To complete the setup, you place 1 position tile from the clans participating next to each location. This is where you will play your cards at each location during the game. We also have the ally cards and the victim cards. Each player draws 1 victim card with which they start to form their alliance. Last, you place the blood tokens and the influence tokens in the middle of the table to form the bank. Each player takes 6 blood tokens and 3 influence tokens. The game is played over 3 rounds, and each round has 5 phases. The first phase is the feeding phase, in which you collect blood from your alliance. The second is the location setup, which adds new allies to all locations. Next is the hand building phase, where you get new cards, followed by the planning phase, where you get to play cards and/or blood, and at last you have the resolution. Let's see the flow of the game with an example. I am playing with the Nosferatu clan. I start with a feeding phase and I collect blood from my alliance. I only have 1 card at the start of the game, and it gives me 1 blood token as indicated at the bottom part of the card. Then we set up the locations, drawing 1 ally card for each. Next, it's the hand building phase. Each player draws 2 cards from their clan deck and secretly looks at them. They only keep 1 of them and put the other card at the bottom of their clan deck. In the first round, each player's hand will contain their starting clan cards, the Hunt and Ready, plus the card they chose to keep. At the end of the round, you take the cards back into your hand. In Vendetta, you keep playing the same cards over and over, so your opponents will start to learn your possible strategies. However, since you will also gain a new card each round, you'll have ways to surprise your opponents and catch them off guard. And then we go to the planning phase. In the planning, players will play cards and/or blood in turn order at the locations. The first player starts and plays 1 card at one of the locations, and they may play up to 3 blood as well. The blood will increase your total power by the amount of tokens you placed during the conflicts with your opponents in the resolution phase. You can play your cards either face up or face down. If you want to play it face down, so to maybe keep your moves secret or even bluff, you must spend 1 blood from your pool to the bank in order to do it. The clan cards can be passive or active. The active ones are in black background and they take effect during the resolution phase, whereas the passive ones in white background have effects that are triggered by specific conditions, but only if they are face up when that condition occurs. Also, at any point during your turn in the planning phase, you may drain 1 or more cards from your alliance to gain more blood. But doing so usually causes you to lose some influence. To drain a card from your alliance, you rotate it and immediately gain the amount of blood indicated in the corner of the card. At the end of the game, you will receive the amount of influence indicated there instead of the full amount you would get from it if it wasn't drained. So, in the first round of the game, you play 2 planning phase turns, which means you play 2 out of your 3 cards, and the number of turns increases by 1 in each subsequent round. But you always have 1 remaining card in your hand after the planning phase is done. And then we go to the last phase of a round, the resolution, in which we resolve all the conflicts of power at each location, one by one, starting with the first location and ending always with the Prince's Haven. For the resolution of each location, we follow 5 steps. First, players get to decide whether they want to withdraw from that location because it's become too dangerous or for whatever tactical reason, or if they choose to stay. All the present players in the location play face down the stay or the withdraw token and reveal them simultaneously. If you chose to withdraw, you are out of the conflict and you immediately take your deployed blood from that location, if any, and put it back in your pool. Then reveal the clan cards you have played at the current location and move them all face up to your position at the Prince's Haven. Then, for the clans who chose to stay, we have the Revelation, in which we reveal any face-down cards. Then, in the Preparation, we resolve all the effects on cards with the Sun symbol. Starting with a player with the Ambition token and proceeding clockwise, you apply the effects of each Preparation card that you have at the current location. Then after the Preparation, we have the Conflict, in which players resolve the effects of their conflict cards. And then after this, the winner at the current location is determined. Each player must calculate their total power, which is the sum of the power of all their deployed cards at that location, plus the amount of deployed blood. The player with the highest total sum of power in that location wins the conflict. In case of a tie, the player who comes first in turn order wins the tie. The winner of the conflict takes the ally card from the current location to add to their alliance at the end of the conflict phase, and the player with the second highest total power takes a victim card from the deck. These players also receive influence depending on their position on the ranking of the conflict, the round you're playing, and which location is being resolved. The player that wins a conflict at the Prince's Haven gets 1 additional influence, and they also take the Ambition token and become the new first player. And then finally, the Aftermath resolves all the effects of the cards with the moon icon, and after all locations are resolved, the round is over. At any point during the game, if you find yourself without any blood in your pool, you have to enter the Frenzy mode. The player who forced you to enter Frenzy mode gains 1 influence. When you enter Frenzy, then you have to drain 1 of your cards in the alliance chosen at random. You take them all, shuffle them, and randomly pick 1 to drain. From this random draining, there is a possibility that you drain another vampire. But unfortunately, this is the most awful crime that a vampire can commit in this society, and it's called Diablerie. If you drain a vampire card, you must add 1 Diablerie token to your pool, which will cost you influence at the end of the game. Also, if you ever get a 3rd Diablerie token, you are immediately out of the game. Despite the risk, the Diablerie can give you power. You can use it to your advantage. During the planning phase, when you play a clan card at the location, you may also flip 1 or more of your Diablerie tokens face down. For each Diablerie token that you flip, you take 1 blood from the bank to place it on your position at the location. This is in addition to the normal 3 you may play during your turn. Once the resolution phase has been resolved at all locations, you prepare for the next round by discarding any deployed blood from all locations to the bank. You take back the cards into your hand, and if you have any face-down Diablerie tokens, you flip them face up. At the end of the 3rd round, the game ends immediately. You add up the influence you gain from the cards in your alliance, from your drained allies and victims, and the influence tokens in your pool. And after subtracting 1 influence for each Diablerie token in your pool, the winner of the game is the player with the most influence. In case of a tie, the tied player with the most blood left in their pool wins, unless there is still a tie, in which case the turn order will resolve this. And that's all you need to know in order to play Vendetta. There's also some variants like relic cards and location cards that add some extra special effects in the game. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, then you can like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.